Hey, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we are playing Dead or Alive 6 on the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, this does not have, as far as I know, I guess I'll find out when Digital Foundry covers it, PlayStation 4 Pro compatibility. I see the same features that are on the base PlayStation 4, which I'm playing on now. That's on the regular PlayStation 4 Pro. From what I read, which was too late because I already pre-ordered it, this game, which sounds kind of weird, but I really like this game, or this series to be more exact. I wish I could get the first one on PlayStation 1. I know the Sega Saturn version is apparently better. I think it might be an import. Here you have a graphics option. So I thought when I played it on a PlayStation 4 Pro first that this was like the PlayStation 4 enhancements, but you can do it on the base PlayStation 4. So you can prioritize graphics or action. I always go with graphics. I guess it would be courteous to prioritize frame rate if you're playing online with someone, but as far as just playing on your own, like, I personally don't see a huge difference with the frame rate, but I'm not a hardcore competitive fighting game person. Which is great about this game is that this is like one of the most accessible fighting games around, so this would definitely be a recommendation. I would actually say for right now to go pick up Dead or Alive 5. I think it's Final Bout, whatever the one's on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I would definitely pick up that one because it's cheaper, unless you're a hardcore fan. Just because, I don't know, the game's pretty much has most of the character DLC as far as not including the costumes. I know this in the last game. I think there was over $1,000 worth of costumes in the last game. But you can play story, quest, you unlock costumes. I'm going to play arcade for the sake of this video. This is a gorgeous game. Like I said, it's accessible. You have a punch, you have a kick button, you have a block button, and then you have a throw button. And then you have, which is new to this game, like this super attack button where you fill up the gauge. And it's kind of like a Mortal Kombat or the Injustice games and now Soul Calibur, where you press like a combination of buttons to do a super attack. So this is the roster. I swear they should just give up on adding dudes to this game and just own up to like this game being pervy. I mean, that's its thing. They actually had a version of Dead or Alive 1 on the original Xbox, which came with a special edition version, I think, of Dead or Alive 2, or maybe it was a special version of 3. It was so long ago. I haven't owned an original Xbox in so long, I don't remember. But I remember really enjoying the first game, even though it was bare bones. So I would like to revisit the PlayStation game. I don't know if it's rare, I haven't looked it up. But they should just add girls. Maybe one token guy, like add Ryu from Ninja Gaiden. Is it Ryu? From what I'm hearing, like the R sound isn't really pronounced in like Japanese. Like, so it's more like you. Is that right? I don't know. But the graphics are really good. The characters sweat, although everybody looks like they're lubricated in oil. The guys especially look weird without their shirts on because they're especially shiny. The women seem to wear more clothes in this game until you start unlocking the skimpier outfits. But what I was going to say, the Xbox One X seems to be getting Xbox One X enhanced support with HDR and some sort of upscaled 4K mode, or maybe it's native 4K. So I really hope that they do something with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Not hating on the Xbox, but let's face it, the PlayStation 4 is probably gonna have the biggest user base. But I know a lot of people are freaking out over the season pass, and the thing about it is like only like the season passes for season 1 is like for a shit ton of costumes. I mean, some people care about that stuff, and that's cool. But what they should do is they just should have a smaller season pass for just the characters. And that would be awesome, because I would buy that. But if the characters are only a few dollars, I'll buy them separately. I have no interest in the costumes. But I remember back in the day, I'm going to try the move that you do special. It's my meter wasn't filled up all the way. Here it is. I remember back in the day where you had fighting games, and it was nothing but male characters, and you'd have like your token female character like Chun-Li in Street Fighter. This has this weird move, but the character models are gorgeous. Especially, it's like they tried harder with the women. Like, I feel like they just added the men in it. I know they made a big deal where they were going to try to make this game look less burby, and that's fine. I don't really care. I think the game on its own is a great fighting game, and it's super simple. Like, the only other games that I would say are best in their accessibility is probably the Injustice games, although I suggest Injustice 2, especially now since you can get the Game of the Year edition, and Mortal Kombat X. And surprisingly, even though I don't have a whole bunch of love for the anime series, I do like the art style, because I like the artist. I never can think of his name when I'm doing these videos, even though he's like one of the most popular manga artists out there. Like, I do like the artwork, but the artist worked on the Dragon Quest series and Chrono Trigger, so like that artwork, I just love it. And yeah, Dragon Ball, is it Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z, or is it Dragon Ball Z Fighters? Whatever that game is called, which I own, so I should know what it's called. Whatever that game is, that's really accessible and quite beautiful. It has like the best cell shading I've ever seen in a video game, and that one's really good. So I would suggest Dead or Alive 5 or 6. I'd say get 6, but I know it's a full price game right now, and fighting games, for whatever reasons, unless they have a shit ton of content like Mortal Kombat, like, they're kind of a hard sell if you don't really play a lot of fighting games and you play like action adventure games, because it feels repetitive and you're not like you're not getting your money's worth, because there's not a lot to do after you play the initial story mode in the arcade game. And I get that. I used to have that hang up for a little while. I don't know, there was this time where I got out of fighting games and I had trouble justifying them. I think this was more during the PlayStation 2 era. I think I just got burned out, to be honest with you. They all just felt samey, especially when Capcom was coming out with like tons of variations of the same game, and the PlayStation didn't have like a lot of the features, like the tag team feature, unless you pick the same characters, like an X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, Capcom versus Marvel superheroes, or maybe there's an X-Men one too. I can't. Street Fighter versus X-Men, I think, was one of them. The Saturn version did, or at least the imported one did, and I think the American one worked with the RAM cartridge too. But you get these half-assed ports, and then they use a lot of the same assets. This one's pretty cool because it has the multi-layered backgrounds on it, and like you actually can use some of the stuff in the backgrounds to help you out. I think Tekken started doing that with Tekken, I want to say 6, or at least that's the one I remembered it doing it in. Oh, I died. That's what happens when you talk and try to play a game. But this game really is more about countering when you really get into it. right now I'm just button mashing and trying to think of things to say, but this game gets a lot of flack for it being pervy, but I'm just like, whatever. And they get all embarrassed about it. I mean, you can definitely see the bounce of the breast and stuff are going down, but I mean, just own up to it. Oh shit, I lost for the first time, but that's good because then I can play as a different character. I've had this game for about 4 days now. I was debating on getting the Xbox One version, but I can't. I feel like if I get anything else for the Xbox One, like, I think the next and probably last game I'm gonna get for the Xbox One is probably the next Gears of War, and if Halo ends up coming out on this system, maybe that, and that'll be it. But I really just don't want to upgrade the hard drive, and I'm already, every time I want to play a game on the Xbox One, I have to delete something, so it's rough. Well, rough by first world terms. It's just annoying. And I can't justify getting like a 4 terabyte hard drive, because then I'm like, am I gonna even fill that? Because there's only a handful of games. Even though they don't look quite as good on the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 4 Pro, like, I can't help but want to play it on those games. Every time I get something on the Xbox One, I don't know, I always have like this buyer's remorse, like I'm cheating on another girl, as weird as that sounds. I don't feel bad with exclusives, but yeah. So even if I got the better version of this, which I'm curious how that one looks. I wonder how good the HDR looks and if it's that much better or what, but I don't know. This was the outfit, I think Ayane, I think that's how you said it, wore Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. I think that's the one. I think I made a video of it. Check it out. I'm sure it was full of boring commentary where I pause and can't think of stuff to say like right now. But yeah, this is really good. I haven't played the tutorial mode, but from what I've read and seen other people talk about, it seems to be pretty innovative compared to most, because I know the Capcom ones are like, do this combo, and it's like you don't even know what you're doing wrong. And I think this actually shows you what frame you're supposed to hit what button on if you have trouble on it. It's really, I mean, the person I'm fighting's character design with the wings, I'm not even gonna attempt to try to pronounce that. I think her outfit looks kind of stupid. I think she was the unlockable character. I put the code in, but that is definitely not her default costume, so I can forgive it. You can unlock a lot of costumes, but me personally would never pay $100 for a bunch of fake costumes. That's like $20 less than 2 games, and I don't think it's $100 even. I think it's like they're 115 or 120. If it's 120, that's like 2 brand new games worth. But I'm worried about Mortal Kombat 11 losing some of its accessibility, just because it looks like it's going to be more technical as far as the way the fighting goes and stuff like that. So I hope they don't lose a good thing, because I feel like Mortal Kombat 9, it was just called Mortal Kombat, but most people call it Mortal Kombat 9. Hit the sweet spot with the fighting mechanics. The only problem with Mortal Kombat 9, the story mode, the boss characters were freaking ridiculous hard. They went back to like the tactics that they used like in the old arcade game with the rubber band physics, where like the bosses would just destroy you. It's like they know what they were gonna do before they knew what you were gonna do before you even could pull off the move. Like the AI like kind of like just picked up your moves and already knew the counter. It was just so cheap when you like fought like Shao Kahn and whatnot. And that was frustrating. But Mortal Kombat X, and now they have Mortal Kombat XL for ridiculously cheap, which has all the DLC. That's like the perfect Mortal Kombat game. And I'm excited for Mortal Kombat 11 because it looks like what I imagined a 3D Mortal Kombat to look like, because it has that really good character facial animation that Injustice 2 had, where it looks real almost. It's kind of going into that Uncanny Valley territory. Obviously you can tell it's a game. Like, I don't think anything's gonna like look super realistic until maybe next gen, maybe. But this is stylized. I liked it. I wish they just had a rougher texture on the characters, so you had a different visual idea of like the difference in fabric and textures. Like the sweat and the blood and scarring and stuff would stick out more. I like how the games have different fighting styles where they cancel. Like some characters, even though they'll be on the same difficulty, some characters are more difficult than other characters because some characters are just balance each other out. How many times am I going to say characters? I haven't done a video in a long time. I should do these more often. Long time meaning a week. I should do these more often so I'm more fluid in my speech. I also should wait till 1 o'clock in the morning to try to do these either, but it's neither here nor there. Good thing is, you're getting a video, and that's what counts. But I love Dead or Alive 5, and you can get that dirt cheap. That'll just give you a good idea before you jump in the 6, but I think this game is great. I hope that they support it more besides just costumes. But like reading forums of like people who are fans of these series, they really buy into the whole costume thing. So I guess they wouldn't be releasing all that stuff unless somebody was buying it. So obviously they know what they were doing, but I'm more interested in extra characters. I just wish they would start coming out with fighting games that just didn't have DLC. Like, as far as characters go, I just want to get a fighting game and be like, that's the character roster, it's never gonna change until I get whatever sequel they come out with. And that's what was kind of exciting about like when I waited for like the new Street Fighters and Mortal Kombat 2 to come out, Mortal Kombat 3. You never knew who was going to be the new characters, and that was really exciting. And you had to wait till the next game, because the odds are, and I'm so OCD about physical media, because with the way things are going, who knows how long it's going to last. Like, Samsung's already getting out of the Blu-ray market, which is really upsetting, but I think Blu-ray and video media, it might get more expensive over time, but I think it's like vinyl, like, because Netflix and streaming services, they're the worst at, like, if you want to go to like an old favorite, unless it's like The Office or something, knock on wood. That's a show like that I always go to when I can't find something on Netflix. The US Office. I did watch the British one too, but I don't know. The US just has so many episodes. I don't know. I just like it. It just came out at the right time. But that's like the only thing that, beside maybe a handful of other sitcoms, I feel like they actually have kept. But there's always like, oh, I want to finally watch this movie, and it'll be taken off of Netflix. I'm just so sick of it. Like I've said in past videos, most of my movies on my Amazon wish list that I make for myself when I go to the store, so I can remember what things that I'm looking for. Like, most of the stuff on my Amazon wish list are things that I used to watch on Netflix all the time. So, like, I have to go and get the physical copy a lot of times if I ever want to see it, because they only hold licenses for so long. And now they're coming out with so many different streaming services, and, like, at least here, Like, you usually have to get cable in order to get internet to get some sort of deal. So I know people like, well, I just won't get all those channels. A lot of times, in order to get fast internet, at least here, you have to like sign up to a program that like requires you to have other channels that you never watch. Like, I have these cable channels. I only watch like 2 or 3 out of like 100 channels that I have. And then there's some people that have like data restrictions where they have to pay for their minutes, like a cell phone plan. I hope they never do that here, knock on wood. I say that like I have like some superpower or the control like the universe. But yeah, I'm really worried about that, as I'm sure a lot of older people are. I mean, it's great to download things, but there's already things that I've downloaded that I can't download anymore, and I have to make sure it's on the hard drive. Otherwise, if I lose it, it'll never happen again. And I know hard drives deteriorate, so it's really a losing battle. Let's just hope disk rot doesn't come to be a factor with Blu-rays. I don't know. But I try to get a physical copy as much as I can, and the DLC, like, unfortunately, like if they come out with a version later on that has all the DLC on it for free, I'm like that idiot that'll go and buy the game twice. I'm sure it works out for the company just fine, but it's sort of ridiculous for me buying the same game twice, but it does feel better. It took me a long time, but I finally gave in and bought Mortal Kombat XL, even though I bought the DLC characters when it was on sale. I didn't buy it when the season pass first came out, but like when it was on sale. But still, I'm like, I really want a disc with everything on it. And if they just would have released the game like that, I would have liked it better. And it had like backgrounds too that were free. That was nice of NetherRealm Studio to give you backgrounds for free. But I'm just like, every time I want to play this game, that's another thing. Like in the bedroom, like the PlayStation's internet is so slow. Like when I went to go download Battlefield, what at most would have taken an hour, like to download in the other room. I don't think it would have even taken that long. Like took like 3 or 4 hours in the bedroom, and it's just like so much easier. Like if you're like, how many times am I gotta add like in something? If you're like me and you don't want to play the same games all the time, and you get distracted, and you want to play games that suit your mood, but you only have so much space on your hard drive, you have to end up deleting games. So when you want to play a new game and want to reinstall it, like if everything's on the disc, you don't have to wait for it to download or whatever, and it's super fast, where depending on the internet connection, whether it's down or whatever. So I live in an apartment, sometimes the internet's slower because it looks like Blade Runner fucking outside with 1 billion wires hooked up to 15 different things. Looked like he was about to straight up like fall forward. That was kind of weird. My one gripe about this game is that when you beat arcade mode, I can't put my initials up. It should say Mikey, 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 Mikey. Or MERM, which are my initials, MRM. But anyway, that was Dead or Alive 6. Hopefully this video was interesting. I think this is a great entry level fighting game, but it's good for people that are into fighting games too. So it's good for both people who like fighting games and people that want to play accessible fighting game for the first time. And I also recommend Injustice 2, Mortal Kombat X or XL, and Dragon Ball Fighters. I don't think it's Dragon Ball Z Fighters. It's FIGHTERZ. That game's awesome and super simple. I think Smash Brothers is a joke when it comes to be considered a fighting game. I feel like that's just a versus platformer. I don't consider it a fighting game. That's just too accessible. I don't know. I'm not picking on it because I own Smash Brothers, and I think it's cool for what it is, but it's hard for me to see it as a fighting game. It feels more like a platformer with fighting game elements. But yeah, those are some great ones. They have SNK Heroines, and that game was like way too simple. It's and kind of stupid, to be honest with you. But it's fun to play in the laundromat. But yeah, I would definitely recommend either Dead or Alive 5, 6, Mortal Kombat X. Still waiting on the verdict of 11. I hope it's awesome. Like, I have it pre-ordered just in case I have the money when it comes out. I'm actually more excited about that than Days Gone. I kind of am waiting on that a little bit longer to see how it is. I hope it's good, because that would be an awesome game if it was. And Mortal Kombat 11, I'm kind of worried that it's going to be more technical and less accessible, but we'll see. We'll see. I know a lot of fighting players played it, were kind of caught off guard by how different it was, but maybe for somebody who's not used to playing fighting games, or not technically not used to playing fighting games, so maybe aren't the best at fighting games like myself, I'll enjoy it more. I don't know, but NetherRealm Studios hasn't really let me down yet, so I have faith in them. Like, I have faith in the developer. The problem with Days Gone is these are the people that like made the Resistance game on the PSP, which was kind of mediocre, but I mean that was a limitation due to the system. And they made Uncharted, which was okay, but it was like a paint by numbers Uncharted game on the Vita. I think it was the Golden Abyss or something. I want to say the Golden Compass, but that's a whole different thing. And then they made the Siphon Filter games, which I loved back in the day on the PlayStation 1, but they haven't really proven themselves where in contemporary games where NetherRealm Studios has, so I'm still trying to wait on that. But yeah. Anyway, I am talking nonsense long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, I would wait till Digital Foundry comes out before you take my word for it. But currently, if you're looking for the best graphical version, obviously it's going to be the Xbox One X. Probably no matter what game you play it on, that's compatible with that, just because it's a more powerful system. But so far, this doesn't have PlayStation 4 Pro support or HDR, from what I can see. I know it doesn't have HDR, and apparently those are in the Xbox version. I've not personally played the Xbox version, so if somebody has, let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was fun, interesting, yada yada yada, and I will talk to you on the next video. Thank you so much. Take care, enjoy life, and hopefully my video, but you already watched it, so I don't know why I'm telling you that now. Why am I YouTubing? Seriously, I need to sort my life out here. Alright, take care, bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe! Thanks for watching!